All right. So here we go with the prayer. Abba Yahuwah, we come to you at this very moment to say thank you for allowing us to see another uh, Shabbat. And we just ask at this time that you will continue to have your hands of protection over the Mishpachah and the rest of Israel as these trying times are coming up. We ask, Abba Yahuwah, that you provide all the needs for Yasharal as a whole, as your wrath is slowly coming upon this place. And we ask that humbly that you would just keep those of Yasharal that are obedient to your will in the protection of your angels. And we just say thank you, Abba Yahuwah, for the continued good health that you continue to provide for the Mishpachah. And we ask humbly that you would extend that to our families and the rest of Yasharal. But I say this in the authority, character, and reputation of your son, Yeshua Mashiach, Hallelujah, along with the King. All right. All right. As everyone can see, oh, pardon me, the title, Yoceph's Family Reunion. We're picking up right where we left off at the line by line series from the point of Yoceph coming into power in Mitzrayim after his brothers had sold him into slavery. And now we're going to read about, as you can see in the title, the family reunion. And it's not as clear cut or smooth as one might think. But here we go. We got to click on the thing. There we go. So, as you can read, mixed signals. How many sons did Yaakov send to buy grain because of the incoming famine?
10.
Correct. Correct. Who wants to read 1 through 20 of Genesis 42?
I can do it. Go ahead. You can go ahead because I don't have it.
Okay. All right. Bereshith, or Genesis 42, 1 through 20. Now when Yaakov saw that there was grain in Mitzrayim, Yaakov said unto his sons, why do you look one upon another? And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is grain in Mitzrayim. Get you down thither and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy grain in Mitzrayim. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Yaakov sent not with his brethren, for he said, lest perchance mischief befall him. And the sons of Yasharel came to buy grain among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Yoceph was the governor over the land, and it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spoke roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan, to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said unto him, Nay, my Adonai, but to buy food are your servants come. We are all one man's sons, and are true men. Your servants are no spies. And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said, Your servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Yoceph said unto them, That is it that I spoke unto you, saying, Ye are spies. Hereby ye shall be proved by the life of Pharaoh. Ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved whether there be any truth in you. Or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies. And he put them all together into ward 3 days. And Yoceph said unto them the third day, This do and live, for I fear Elohim. If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry grain for the famine of your houses. But bring your strongest brother unto me, your youngest brother unto me. So shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so.
There you go. So as you can see, Yoceph immediately recognized his brothers, even after what seems like maybe over a decade. They didn't recognize him and his status. So he decides to test them a little bit and see, how everything's going. Let's see. Who did Yoceph jailed who, while the other brothers went back to Canaan? Who did Yoceph jail? I give you 5 more seconds. 4, 3.
I think it was Simeon.
Correct. Who wants to get chapter 42, 21 through 38?
I'll do it.
Go right ahead, Ima.
Okay, so it's going to be continuing of Genesis chapter 42, 21 through 38. And they said one to another, We are truly guilty concerning our brother, in that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we were not here, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spoke I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child, and ye would not hear? Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spoke unto them by an interpreter. And he turned himself, sorry for messing up.
That's fine.
And he turned himself about from them and wept, and returned to them again, and communed with them, and took from them Shimeon, and bound him before their eyes. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with grain, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provision for the way. And thus he did unto them. And they laded their asses with grain, and departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the inn, he espied his money, for behold, it was in his sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, My money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their hearts failed them, and they were afraid, saying to one to another, What is this that Elohim has done unto us? And they came unto Yaakov their father, unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell them, saying, The man who is the Adonai of the land spoke roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, We are true men, we are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Adonai of the country, said unto us, Hereby I shall know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your household, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that you are no spies, but that ye are true men. So I will deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. And it came to pass as they emptied their sacks that, behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Yaakov, their father, said unto them, Me have ye bereaved of my children. Yoceph is not, and Shimeon is not, and ye will take Benjamin away? All these things are against me. And Reuben spoke unto his father, saying, Slay my two sons, if I bring him not to you. Deliver him into my hands. Deliver him into my hand, and I will bring him to you again. And he said, My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way, in the way, if mischief befall him by the way in the which ye go, then shall ye bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to Sheol.
Go. And as we can see, it was not an easy task to get Yaakov to relinquish his last son from his most beloved wife uh, to head to Mitzrayim. But who of Yasharel's sons led the return to Mitzrayim with Benjamin? So there was an individual that managed to coax Yaakov into allowing Benjamin to journey with them to Mitzrayim. It's one of the 12, or one of the 9 that returned. Well, let's go ahead and read it out. Who wants to get 43, 1 through 14? Let's see. Let me expand. I want to see if, I don't know if anybody's got their hand up. Let me expand it. Let me see. Let's see. I'll go ahead and get this one. Let's see. This is 43, 1 through 14. And the famine was sore in the land, and it came to pass, when they had eaten up the grain which they had brought out of Mizraim, their father said, Go unto them. Go again, buy us a little food. And Yehuda spoke unto him, saying, The man did solely protest unto us, saying, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. If you will send our brother with us, we will go down and buy you food. But if you will not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. And Yasharel said, Wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether ye had yet a brother? And they said, The man asked us straightly of our state and of our kindred, saying, Is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him according to the tenor of these words. Could we certainly know that he would say, Bring us your brother down, or bring your brother down? And Yehuda said unto El Yasharel, his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and you, and also our little ones. I will be surety for him. Of my hand shall you require him. If I bring him not unto you, and set him before you, then let me bear the blame forever. For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned the second time. And their father Yasharel said unto them, if it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm and a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds, and take double money in your hand, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks. Carry it again in your hand. Perchance it was an oversight. Take also your brother, and arise and go again unto the man. And El Shaddai give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved, O my children, I am bereaved. Oh, if I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. So he's saying at this point it's either that or starvation. So he's like, well, it's better to lose one son in a sense, or two sons, rather than for the whole tribe of Israel to starve. So let's move on to the next question. Yoceph did what upon the return arrival of his brothers with Benjamin? What did Yoceph do? Did anybody have a slight idea?
What did you say again?
Yoceph did what upon the return arrival of his brothers with Benjamin? What did he do once Benjamin arrived with the rest of his brothers, the second trip?
Did he? Oh my goodness! When his brother came, did he commune? Did he take him aside and talk to him or something like that? I'm not
Yes,
sure.
in a sense, yes. He sets up a feast for him, but he does it
Right.
in a way that is suspenseful, to say the least.
You know, it's my fault because I'm thinking to whenever I listen to these and I'm reading, it's because I've read the other books. I'm thinking about the bigger picture. You know, he did actually take him aside and talk to him privately before he set him back with his brother. So you're right.
All right. Who wants to get 15 through 34 of Genesis 40?
I can read it.
Go right ahead, Ema.
Verse 15. So the men took this present, and they took double the money with them and Benjamin. They arose and went down to Egypt and stood before Yoceph. When Yoceph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the steward of his house, bring the men into the house and slaughter an animal and make ready, for the men are to dine with me at noon. The man did as Joseph told him, and brought the men to Joseph's house. And the men were afraid because they were brought to Joseph's house. And they said, it is because of the money which was replaced in our sacks the first time that we are brought in, so that he may assault us and fall upon us and make us servants and seize our donkeys. So they went up to the steward of Joseph's house and spoke with him at the door of the house and said, O my Adonai, we came down the first time to buy food. And when we came to the lodging place, we opened our sacks, and there was each man's money in the mouth of his sack, our money in full weight. So we have brought it again with us, and we have brought other money down with us to buy food. We do not know who put our money in our sacks. He replied, peace to you, and do not be afraid. Your Elohim and the Elohim of your father has put treasure in your sacks for you. I received your money. Then he brought Simeon out to them. And when the man had brought the men into Joseph's house and given them water, and they had washed their feet, and when he had given their donkeys fodder, they prepared the present for Joseph's coming at noon, for they heard that they should eat bread there. When Yoceph came home, they brought into the house to him the present that they had with them, and bowed down to him to the ground. And he inquired about their welfare and said, "Is your father well? The old man of whom you spoke, is he still alive?" They said, "Your servant, our father is well. He is still alive." And they bowed their heads and prostrated themselves. And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, "Is this your youngest brother, of whom you spoke to me? Elohim be gracious to you, my son." Then Yoceph hurried out, for his compassion grew warm for his brother, and he sought a place to weep. And he entered his chamber and wept there. Then he washed his face and came out. And controlling himself, he said, "Serve the food." They served him by himself, and them by themselves, and the Egyptians who ate with him by themselves, because the Egyptians could not eat with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination to the Egyptians. And they set before him the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men looked at one another in amazement. Portions were taken to them from Joseph's table, but Benjamin's portion was 5 times as much as any of theirs. And they drank and were merry with him.
There you go. So that answers that. It was a joyful feast, even though it had some caveats with having to deal with the Cushites, the Hamites, in the presence. They had to kind of, keep it formal to not offend anyone. And it's interesting, like they even after, like, if I'd have been there, you said Ema Sharman, you said when you read the extra books, was it the Testament, right? Or what books were they?
Honestly, I to pull it right off what I read, I'm not sure, but I do know that it's going to probably be Jasher or maybe Jubilees, one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he pulled him to the side and he actually let him know what he was going to do. Um, as far as his brothers were concerned, he was just testing them to see where their hearts were, something like that. But
Okay.
Benjamin was aware of who that Joseph was actually Joseph. He let him know early on, but his brothers didn't know that he was Joseph.
And that's what I figured. Like, I'm kind of wondering that, like, they didn't figure it out. Like, cool, Benjamin gets like 5 helpings
Mm-hmm.
of the best quail in the land, and they still can't, like, I don't know who the guy is. Like,
Right.
who knows?
If I'm not mistaken, Sherman, I think when they returned, I don't know if it was Simeon was being held, and it was a big deal with the brothers, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the brothers were very upset, and there's about some stuff was about to go down.
Yeah, they were gonna fight. They were gonna.
And
That goes to show how our men were. They were not wimps at all.
no, but I remember what I remember most about it. It says that Yehuda let out a yell and said, "Pregnant women miscarried." I don't know. I forget now which.
It's in that same the one that I'm talking about. What you're reading right now. That's what you're talking about. It's in that same story where I'm getting my information too.
Yeah.
So I just don't remember which book it is, but
Okay, so after they take Simeon, Yehuda yells, gives a big battle cry that causes miscarriages.
yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, because I think they were gonna go to blows. Joseph and who was it, Judah, they were going to go to blows, and the Egyptians told Joseph, please stop, because they're going to, the women of our land are going to, they're not going to have any children. It was a big mess. There's a lot more to the story. I always think of um what we have right now, since they took away other books, as an outline of stories where there's more details.
A lot more details. But I agree with you. The men were not
We're not wimps. Yeah,
they
they
were
were gonna come back with vengeance.
they weren't anything to be played with. You don't play with Hebrew men. And as you can see, even the vow to bring him back alive, he would have died doing that, and that's why Hebrew men were not to be played with, because they had been taught, your word, whatever you say. And so these stories are so inspiring, and gives you, this is what some of this that we see is what the Most High intended for our men to be. He intend for our men to be playing basketball, all this kind of stuff. He intended our men to be warriors. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, and like, if it went south, they probably would have got Ibriym destroyed sooner. Yeah,
I don't know what kind of voice you'd have to let out a yell and women would miscarry. I can't phantom that. I mean, what I can understand. Well, I can't understand. I don't know if y'all remember. There was a video going around a few years back, and I can't remember this young man's name. I think he's a boxer or something. And they were interviewing him, and he was actually, it was a black guy, news reporter was interviewing him. He got mad at him because something he asked him and said, and he was said, to this day, him was a woman, a Gentile woman standing beside him, jumped out of skin. It was like you could see the fierceness in his face and his voice, even though she was standing right there looking at him. When he said that, she just, you could see it startled her so much. So oh, maybe that's true. Don't know.
Well, I imagine maybe Judah had something like a Barry, what's that real famous like smooth jazz singer, Barry, was it Barry White or something like that?
Well, I believe that there is something about our men's voices, and I've said this many times. I can tell when a black man is talking. It's something about the voice, something about the cadence of the voice, the rhythm in the voice. There is such a thing. I believe, a lot of people say, we shouldn't say things like, you're talking white and all this kind of stuff. But there is a cadence in the voice. And so many times in our society, because we're in the larger society, many of our men, I think, try to tone that down. And because it's intimidating and they know it. So they try to tone it down so they can, kind of fit in. But there is a difference. I believe it. My dad did not have a big booming voice, but it was something in his voice. At least the man I grew up with, when I was little, they spoke with, um, um, they spoke what they spoke, and they spoke it without fear. Because I grew up amongst um, my first, I would say uh, the first six years of my life was basically, no, probably the first um, 10 years of my life. I didn't have very many interactions with Gentiles, very little. My world was mostly Hebrews, and I noticed the difference in the men. They were different amongst themselves. So
You're totally right, Emma, because like even up here in Kansas, when I'm doing my temp job, like we working at this warehouse, and I didn't realize there's gonna be this many brews, but like most of the people on my shift are brews, and then we get to talking, and you know how we can be it sounds like we're arguing, like we about to fight,
yeah,
but that's just how we talk to each other. And some of the we had this one little elderly Edomite woman that's on shift with us, and she just like she gets kind of flustered by it, because like we're not about to go to blows, but when we're talking about discussing things, it just how our voices it goes up an octave or so.
yeah. It's hard to explain, but there's something in the voice. I've known or been around Gentile men who you would say would have a strong voice, but I've never seen one that really had a really, really strong voice as some of the Black men I've known in my lifetime. And I don't know. I don't think. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't think I'm crazy, but I detect that. And even in, let's see, I don't know. I can't think of anybody. I'm trying to think of an actor. I don't know. He's an old actor, Lee Marvin. He had a deep voice, but I knew a 150-pound weight, weighing 150 pounds soaking wet. Black men had voices like that.
Yep, that's my dad. My dad, he had a raspy voice, but he can sing like the gospel quartets and stuff. He can be into, but because he ain't nothing but 5'6". Maybe he's probably like 160, 170 now, because he's just older. But yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that or not. But when we are around, I guess I noticed the difference so much because my early childhood, I say up to age 12, I was mostly around Black men. So I noticed things that maybe the younger generation doesn't notice because of integration, living in integrated neighborhoods, work, the stuff like that, going to integrated schools. We don't notice it as much, but I do. I notice it. There is a difference in the voice.
And unfortunately, because of certain agendas that were propagated starting in the late 70s to now, a lot of our women ain't grow up with strong men around them. So when they hear us talk to them, like when they hear a man that has that brought up and they hear us talk to them, it makes them scared. Because I was told by a girl that I had met before I had met Kauta, my wife, and she said, "You scare me." I was like, I never raised my voice. I talked a very proper to her, and yes ma'am, no ma'am, or you need something, but she said the way you carry yourself, it scares me. I was like, what? I'm like, and I'm not like the overly aggressive. I mean, I played some male sports, male dominated sports, football, stuff like that. But I'm not no overly aggressive brew or nothing like that. And that was interesting to me to hear that. That like the way ever since like the way the first time I met you, you kind of scared me because I was like, what?
I think that I think that the Most High gave our men as something in their voices that is authoritative, and sounds very, frightening at times. Because, it's like my dad didn't have to do anything except call me Vic. And I step right in line. That's all I had to hear, and I grew up with that. Now we see, the trend is now, oh, don't talk like that, that's what does they call it now? Toxic manhood.
Toxic masculinity, yeah.
Masculinity. No, it's not. It's not. And but his voice could be very soothing, calm and gentle. But when he was upset about something, you knew it. You could tell in his voice. So
yeah, that's just a gift that the Most High gave us, that we'll happily take. Let's see.
really,
Yep, the
own
setup.
Own it.
Who took Yoceph's silver cup in their sack?
I think I know this. I think it was Benjamin.
It was.
Correct, but it was a setup. It was a setup. He didn't. It was to get the first 12 or 44. Let's see.
I can read.
Oh, go ahead, Danya, if you want to get it. I guess maybe not. She probably got people to deal with, little children.
Hi, sorry. Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm here with Lydia and Shazma with the children. I had to walk outside. My apologies.
Okay. No problem.
Okay. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill the men's sack with food as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack's mouth. And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his grain money. And he did according to the word that Yoceph had spoken. As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their asses. And when they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off, Yoceph said unto his steward, up, follow after the men, and when you do overtake them, say unto them, wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good? Is not this in it which my Adonai drinks, and whereby indeed he divines? Ye have done evil in so doing. And he overtook them, and he spoke unto them these same words. And they said unto him, wherefore says my Adonai these words? Far be in that your servants should do according to this thing. Behold, the money which we found in our sacks' mouths, we brought again unto you out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of your Adonai's house silver or gold? With whomsoever of your servant it be found, both let him die. And we also will be my Adonai's bondmen. And he said, now also let it be according to your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack. And he searched and began at the eldest and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack.
There you go. It was a setup, but as we say, it'll come to a good ending, as we read on. Let's see. Say, who pled for Benjamin's freedom upon finding the cup in his sack?
Was it Reuben?
Incorrect. It was. Let's go ahead and read it out. 13 to 34. This is kind of a lengthy one. But this is the end of that. Like, once we get to 34, that's the end of 44. And then we'll move on to 45.
I can read it.
Go right ahead, Ema.
Okay, verse 13. Then they tore their clothes, and every man loaded his donkey, and they returned to the city. When Judah and his brothers came to Yoceph's house, he was still there. They fell before him to the ground. Yoceph said to them, "What deed is this that you have done? Do you not know that a man like me can indeed practice divination?" And Yehuda said, "What shall we say to my Adonai? What shall we speak? Or how can we clear ourselves? Elohim has found out the guilt of your servants. Behold, we are my Adonai's servants, but we and he also in whose hand the cup has been found." But he said, "Far be it from me that I should do so. Only the man in whose hand the cup was found shall be my servant. But as for you, go up in peace to your father." Then Yehuda went up to him and said, "Oh, my Adonai, please let your servant speak a word in my Adonai's ears, and let not your anger burn against your servant, for you are like Pharaoh himself." My Adonai asked his servant, saying, "Have you a father or a brother?" And we said to my Adonai, "We have a father, an old man, and a young brother, the child of his old age. His brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother's children, and his father loves him." Then you said to your servants, "Bring him down to me, that I may set my eyes on him." We said to my Adonai, "The boy cannot leave his father, for if he should leave his father, the father would die." Then you said to your servants, "Unless your youngest brother comes down with you, you shall not see my face again." When we went back to your servant, my father, we told him the words of my Adonai. And when our father said, "Go again, buy us a little food," we said, "We cannot go down. If our youngest brother goes with us, then we will go down. But we cannot see the man's face unless our youngest brother is with us." Then your servant, my father, said to us, "You know that my wife bore me 2 sons. One left me." And I said, "Surely he has been torn to pieces, and I have never seen him since. If you take this one also from me and harm happens to him, you will bring down my gray hairs in evil to Sheol." Now therefore, as soon as I came to your servant, my father, and the boy is not with us, then as his life is bound up in the boy's life, as soon as he sees that the boy is not with us, he will die. And your servants will bring down the gray hairs of your servant, our father, with sorrow to Sheol. For your servant became a pledge of safety for the boy to my father, saying, "If I do not bring him back to you, then I shall bear the blame before my father all my life. Now therefore, please let your servant remain instead of the boy as a servant to my Adonai, and let the boy go back with his brothers. But how can I go back to my father if the boy is not with me? I fear to see the evil that would find my father."
There we go. So it was Yehuda who pled for Benjamin's life to be able to take him back, let him go back to his father. So his father Yaakov would not perish of heartache. But as we can see, that was all just a test. See, what land did Yoceph and Pharaoh welcome all of Yasharel to settle in?
Goshen.
Correct. Right. Who wants to get the first 15 of 45? Chapter 45.
I'll do it. Let me get it. Just a moment. 45, 1 through what is it?
15.
Okay, just a moment. 45, 1 through 15. Okay, 45, 1 through 15. Then Yoceph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried, "Cause every man to go out from me." And there stood no man with him, while Yoceph made himself known unto his brethren. And he wept aloud, and the Mitzrayim and the house of Pharaoh heard. And Yoceph said unto his brethren, I am Yoceph. Does my father yet live? And his brothers could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. And Yoceph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near. And he said, I am Yoceph, your brother, whom ye sold into Mitzrayim. Now therefore, be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves, that ye sold me hither. For Elohim did send me before you to preserve life. For these 2 years has the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. And Elohim sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it was not you that sent me hither, but Elohim, and he has made me a father to Pharaoh, an Adon of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Mitzrayim. Haste ye and go up to my father and say unto him, Thus says your son Yoceph, Elohim has made me Adon of all Mitzrayim. Come down unto me, tarry not, and thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and ye shall be near unto me, you and your children and your children's children, and your flocks and your herds, and all that you have. And there I will nourish you, for yet there are 5 years of famine, lest you and your household and all that you have come to poverty. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that is in my mouth, that speaks unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Mitzrayim, and of all that ye have seen, and ye shall haste and bring down my father hither. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept. And Benjamin wept upon his neck. Moreover, he kissed all of his brethren and wept upon them. And after that, his brethren talked with him.
There you go. So even Pharaoh himself was ecstatic to have us in his presence, because he understood that, like, dang, if just one of these guys is here, imagine, a few more of them, and how much more my land would be blessed. Again, I think this is why even in the modern day we don't have horrible relations with Ham. They're not the best, but they're not as bad as some other nations of the world. Is that they recognize the blessing that we had on us, and would do their best to enable us to still maintain that connection with Yahuwah, to be able to bless ourselves and in extension them. The trickle down effect, Reaganomics. when it comes to blessing. All right. Did Yasha? Oh, go ahead, Em.
I just want to say something about favor. It's so many people, especially Christians, that talk about, they believe that, they say that there is no, Israel, we're all Israel if we accept, Christ as our Savior, that kind of stuff. And that they teach that all of that is going to, all of that that was promised to Abraham is now also promised to them. Well, you can see that even with Yaakov, and this is probably what brought all this stuff on with the brothers. The children of his of Rachel that he had, and then when he was older, he favored them more. And we see that even here, Yoceph also, as you can see, tend to favor Benjamin more, because that is the son of his mother. I don't think a lot of people understand what favor is. Favor doesn't mean that you just he didn't ignore his other brothers. He loved his other brothers. But the favor that he had for Benjamin is understandable. That's the son of his mother.
His full blood brother. Yep.
So this favor stuff that they talk about, so why wouldn't the Most High-Yah favor his chosen people over all others? If we can see favor within our own interaction, doesn't mean that we mistreat other people. But I'm going to favor my sons with my belongings, my wealth. I'm just not going to go out there and give it to whoever nilly-willy, So there's nothing wrong with favor. And I don't know, I just don't know why, especially with our people, why that's so hard to understand, this favor.
Can I say something, Ima?
Mm-hmm.
I think perhaps for our people, it's kind of hard for them to understand because they've never really experienced it. These people, us people right here versus our ancestors, so that we can understand it looking at the perspective from our ancestors. But we've been so trodden down. And so, we've been in the church listening to favor, but even in the church watching everybody with favor, it didn't trickle down to us. It was mainly those who were palm colored that were receiving all this favor. Because I recall standing in church many a time and a prophet is coming into the church, but the only person he seems to bless or have a word of knowledge and a word from the Most High for was the pastor or his family and friends. So looking at it, it's hard to look at, the favor is for us. Now, we as awakened Israelites, we understand it far more than those who are not. And even our people who are awakened, it's just they probably aren't there yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, why wouldn't you?
I agree with you.
I mean, I don't know.
I just think it's harder for some others to,
Because it's like, most people, like a lot of, almost, I would say 99% of the people that I've talked to about this, when I say something like that, you know what the first thing is they say? Well, what about the other people?
I know you're telling the truth because I had this conversation or this thought with the Most High recently, because that is what I said. That's the first thing I said when I realized that we were the people and all the promises were to us. The first thing I thought about, oh my gosh, what about the white people? And that's just a confession so that everybody will know it. Besides, the Most High, because He knows it. So let me just bring that on out. That was something that I honestly thought of in the beginning.
Wow. And see, that's something that never crossed my mind when the Most High brought me into this. I fully accepted it. I'm like, okay, that makes sense because of everything else that I learned, the curses and everything, how we got all that. So why shouldn't we get the favor? So I don't know, it's just to me it's just strange how much how the mind can be shaped, especially by religion. That's all
Like you're right, Ema. Both of you are right, but like especially Ema, Vicky, it's one. It was psychological warfare that was done on us in the Christian church. It's psychological warfare, and then two, it's just that we are the salt of the earth. It's actually a good thing that some of us initially thought like, well, what about my friend Susie or my friend Jack? Like that's the natural love that the Most High placed in us, right? Because when another nation decides they want to chill with us, for the most part, there's no pushback. Like if they decide they want to hang and are willing to take on the plight that we have, we're not trying to keep them away from it. We embrace them, and that's part of the love that the Most High gave us. Now there is an understanding that yes, you need to accept your role, which is to be the head of all nations, and understand that you got to keep the other nations at arm's distance because you have to rule. Like you can't, and when you're in rulership, you can't be buddy with everybody. You can respect them. You can do your best to provide humane conditions and stuff like that. But ultimately, you have to be willing and able and willing to take on the responsibility of rulership. And then that's a tough thing for us to learn, especially, all our lives we were told we're just a color and not a nation of the greatest people on earth. And that's just something that, scripture has to build back up in us. As we as pieces of Yasharel all over the world wake up.
Yeah, that's how colonization started.
Yeah. Go ahead, go ahead, Cody.
I said that's how colonization started.
Oh yeah, you're right. The psychological tactics.
Yeah, because we worry about them, but they don't worry about us.
Yeah.
That goes always one way, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, that's the love that the Most High gave us. However, like you said, they have to understand their place and they have to be servants. That's it.
Yeah, because it takes humility to rule, and it also takes humility to serve. So, right? Because if you have humility when you're in rulership, you're gonna think about the others around you, not just gonna think about whatever your immediate desires or wants or needs are. You're gonna be like, okay, this is what I would like to do personally, but in order for the group to get along and continue to prosper and move forward, this is what has to be done. And that may, and that does include a somewhat of a separation. Not that you, again, not that you can't be nice, but there are certain matters that only we can deal with, because that's the responsibility that the Most High gave. But let's move on to the rest of these questions, because we got one more slide and then we'll be done. Which is like basically one more chapter. But did Yasharel die, Yaakov, did he die upon receiving the good news of Yoceph's existence?
No.
No? Okay. Let's read it out. I don't know, he kind of passed. I don't know, but he kind of passed out. But anyway, let's see.
I can read.
Who's that? That Danya?
Yes, I can read.
Okay, go right ahead, man.
Okay. 16, right? Okay. And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come, and it pleased Pharaoh well and his servants. And Pharaoh said unto Yoceph, say unto your brethren, this do ye, lade your beasts, and go, get you unto the land of Canaan. And take your father and your households, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Mitzrayim, and ye shall eat the fat of the land. Now you are commanded, these do ye, take your wagons out of the land of Mitzrayim for your little ones, and for your women, and bring your father, and come. Also regard not yourself, your stuff, for the good of all the land of Mitzrayim is yours. And the children of Yasharel did so. And Yoceph gave them wagons according to the command of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way. For to all of them he gave each man changes of raiment, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment. And to his father he sent after this manner: 10 asses laden with the good things of Mitzrayim, and 10 she-asses laden with grain and bread and meat for his father by the way. So he sent his brethren away, and they departed. And he said unto them, see that ye fall not out by the way. And they went up out of Mitzrayim, and came into the land of Canaan unto Yaakov their father, and told him, saying, Yoceph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Mitzrayim. And Yaakov's heart failed, for he believed them not. And they told him all the words of Yoceph, which he said unto them. And when he saw the wagons which Yoceph had sent to carry him, the ruach of Yaakov their father revived. And Yasharel said, it is enough. Yoceph, my son, is yet alive, and I will go and see him before I die.
There you go. So he was so happy that he passed out and then woke back up. Or I don't know, maybe his heart temporarily stopped and then it and then it restarted. But I ain't never been that happy where I passed out.
I
Go ahead.
was reading from the ESV, and verse 24 says, when it says, then he sent his brothers away, and they departed, and he said to them, do not quarrel on the way. I think Danya read, do not fall out on the way. So have y'all ever, that's what I used to hear all the time, you know, somebody had a big falling out.
Yeah, I remember that saying.
And I was just wondering, that came to mind. I said, is that where that came from? You know, a lot of people don't stop to see what that really means. I'll have to look that up, but the ESV says a quarrel. And that used to be something that was said amongst Black folks, you know, somebody had had a disagreement, they had a big falling out. Or somebody in the family had a big falling out. But it goes to show too that Yoceph knew his brothers, you know. So
It's like, yeah, you know, Israel being Israel.
he knew his brothers. He knew they would, you know, probably had some kind of argument, a big falling out along the way. I just thought that was interesting.
Yep. And now as we move on to reconciliation. Where did Yaakov visit first before settling in Goshen with Yoceph?
He visited Pharaoh.
No.
What?
Well, nah, he
Oh,
visited. He
wait, wait.
visited.
What's the question? What's the question again? What did Yaakov visit? Oh, before settling in Goshen with Yosef? I'm not sure. That I don't know unless he unless he spoke with the Most High or visited his wife's grave. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
That was correct. I'm gonna go ahead and read the first 7 of this, and 46, 1 through 7. And Yasharel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto the Elohim of his father Isaac. And Elohim spoke unto Yasharel in the visions of the night. So basically, when he fell asleep, and spoke to him in a dream and said, Yaakov, Yaakov. And he said, Here am I. And he said, I am El, the Elohim of your father. Fear not to go down into Mitzrayim, for I will for I will there make you of a great nation. I will go down with you into Mitzrayim, and I will also surely bring you up again. And Yoceph shall put his hand upon your eyes. And Yaakov rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Yasharel carried Yaakov, their father, and their little ones, and their women, in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Mitzrayim, Yaakov and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Mitzrayim. So there you go. He even paid his respects to Yahuwah before, traveling on back down into Mitzrayim. And if I remember correctly from the past lessons, like that was east of where they were in Canaan, Beersheba, because they had to travel east to get to Canaan, or travel west to get to Canaan originally when they were coming from that area. So when Isaac came from that area, Beersheba, so they had to go east a little bit, then on down in the Egypt. All right. What was the total number of Yasharalim that settled in Goshen? This may be I know it was a big number, but it's smaller than I thought it was. Let's just see if anybody can guess it or bring it
I
ahead.
already know, so I'm not going to say nothing.
All right. This is a little.
It's 70.
Yeah, it's 7. I thought it would be bigger, but like that's still not small. I thought the number was going to be bigger, but it's still not small. Who wants to get these? And if we need to, we can split it up because it's kind of big.
33?
We're reading from 8 to 27 in Genesis 46. And then Ema Sharman said it correctly. It was 70. That's the number.
You want me to read it?
Oh, go ahead, Shafir. I didn't even know you was here.
All right, hold on a second. All right, so it's Genesis 46 and 8. And these are the names of the children of Israel, and I'm reading from the KJV, which came into Egypt: Jacob and his sons, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn. And the sons of Reuben, Hanok and Palu and Hezron and Carmi. And the sons of Simeon, Juel and Jamin and Ohad and Jachin. and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanitish woman, and the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari, and the sons of Judah, and Onan, and Shelah, Pharez, and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan, and the sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamul, and the sons of Issachar, Tula, and Puvah, and Job, and Shimron, the sons of Zebulun, Sered, and Elon, and Jalil. These are the sons of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob in Padanaram, with his daughter Dinah. All the souls of his sons and his daughters were 30 and 3. And the sons of Gad, Ziphion, and Haggai, and Shunai, and Esbon, and Eri, and Aradi, Arali. And the sons of Asher, Jimnah, and Ishua, and Isui, and Beriah, and Sarah, their sister. And the sons of Beriah, Heber, and Malchiel. These are the sons of Zilpah, uh, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and these she bare unto Jacob, even 16 souls. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin, and unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Aseneth, the daughter of Pontiphera, priest of On, bare unto him. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela, and Becher, and Ashbel, Gera, and Naamam, Ei, and Rosh, Mufpim, and Hupim, and Arad, and Ard. These are the sons of Rachel, which were born to Jacob, and all the souls were 14. And the sons of Dan, Hushim, and the sons of Naphtali, Jazeel, and Guni, and Jezer, and Shelem. These are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rachel his daughter, and she bare these unto Jacob. All the souls were 7. All the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons, wives, all the souls were 66. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Egypt, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Jacob, which came into Egypt, were 70. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph, to direct his face unto Goshen, and came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Israel his father. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. You can stop to 27. It's fine. What is the occupation of the sons of Yasharel? There you go. Who wants to get the last 7 of 46, and then we're done? Anybody know the occupation of the sons of Yasharel? What job did our forefathers have? It's fairly simple.
They were shepherds.
Correct. Now, who wants to get, unless Shafir wants to continue on with this last 7 verses, whoever wants to get it, if it's not him.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and finish off.
All right, go ahead, finish it off.
All right, let's see. It's my phone tripping. And he sent Judah before, and it's 28. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph, to direct his face unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Israel his father to Goshen, and presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel saw Yoceph, Now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. And Joseph said unto his brethren and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh, and say unto him, my brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. And the men are shepherds, for their trade hath been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all they have. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say, what is your occupation? That ye shall say, thy servant's trade hath been about cattle from our youth even until now, both we and our fathers, that have that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
There you go. So the Egyptians were a little high and mighty. You know, they looked down on the people who provided them probably the most premium meat in Mitzrayim, with all the cattle and the goats and the sheep. But they didn't want to know where it came from as long as they got it. So that's interesting. So they basically looked down on the electricians and the plumbers and the carpenters in a sense, if you want, like the lower class working people. But without them, you ain't have a good meat. I'm pretty sure it's probably like Texas beef back then in that time. If you had some Israelite lamb or goat or bovine, I'm pretty sure that was probably the best meat in all of Mitzrayim. But they look down upon us because I guess you would get a little smelly, messing with cattle, because the few times I've kind of seen cattle, they don't smell the best if you ain't like bathing them every day, which most people aren't. So I can understand them saying it's an abomination to eat with the herdsmen of Mitzrayim and Israel. But there you have it. I tried to make it as decently quick. We started at 4:30. That's only an hour and a half. It's pretty good. It's 6 o'clock, and for 4 chapters to breeze right through. So that was pretty good. I hope everybody learned something. And does anybody have anything before I end the recording and pray it out, then end the recording? Okay, I don't see anybody with their hand. Let me check the thing. Nobody's got their hand up. Nothing like that, right? Okay. Let's go ahead and I'll read out the closing and then pray it out. All right. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Elohim and guard his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Elohim shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. That's from the Old Testament, Ecclesiastes 12, 13 through 14. And New Testament, here is the patience of the Kodashim. Here are they that guard the commandments of Yahuwah and the belief of Yahusha. That is Revelation 14:12, or Shizon, for those that want to learn how to pronounce that word. And Coalesce is for Ecclesiastes. And hope everybody enjoyed that lesson. Now go ahead and go straight into prayer. Hey, Shafir, do you want to pray it out real quick?
Yeah, I got you.
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Most High-Yah, thank you for another beautiful Shabbat, a day of rest, a day of companionship. There's a lot of moving pieces going on within our assembly and without our assembly. As we go through these feast days, let us remember what's going on and how it coincides with you and your return. This line by line that you have us doing, Father, is bringing a lot of edification, and we pray that we continue to be edified by your word and renew our understanding of what you have for us. Thank you, Father, for allowing us to be able to sit here and congregate with each other. and may it build our resolve, and may we all stand together in that in these final hours. Thank you for all you do for us. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. Let's see. And